So many yarns, so little time. What's a girl to do? Well, you can start by watching this video where I have taken 16 yarns, put them to the test by making 16 granny squares, and we'll be checking them based on softness, stitch definition, the fun of actually using the yarn, the value, and the variety of that yarn line. So stay tuned until the end to find out which yarns rank the top. Well, hey there. Hi, I'm Kristen, the Queen of Nostalgia, and today we'll be looking at these 16 granny squares to see how they rank based on the yarns that I use for each one. The different yarns that will be looked at today are Big Twist Value yarn, the Estaco, I hope I'm saying that right, Estaco anti-pilling yarn, and then Lion Brand Basic Stitch, Lion Brand Skein Tones, Lion Brand Heartland, and finally the Lion Brand Woolies. Then after that, we are going to be looking at Loops and Threads, their Impeccable line. And then I have several from Premier, one of which is the Anti-Pilling Everyday Worsted, the Anti-Pilling Select, that's one of their newer ones, and Premier's Basics yarn. Then we have a couple by Stylecraft, Stylecraft Special DK and Aran Weight yarns. And then several from Hobby Lobby. We have their Easygoing Yarn Bee Easygoing. I love this yarn. The Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek, and Yarn Bee Yarntopia. So those are our 16 yarns. Let's go through the process. I'm going to show you some of the sorting things that I did, and you'll be watching me as I make some of the swatches, and I'll be giving my general impressions. At the end, I will lay out all 16 yarns and have a breakdown of their overall score, how they scored in each category, and give you my basic impressions to see which yarns I think work the best for me. Now, everyone might have a different opinion, right? It depends on what you're interested in the most, right? If you're looking at value or softness or all the things. But because I'll be breaking them down into each category, you can look at that for yourself and figure out which one, depending on the characteristic, is most important to you. So let's get to it. So I started off with the Lion Brand Skein Tones. This is a beautiful yarn. It is made of 100% acrylic, and it is really soft to work with. The yarn slides over my hook super nice, and it works up really well. It's also, I think, nice for a beginner, right? It's not too slidey, but it's also not draggy at all. It's easy to find your stitches as you're working, and overall a really good experience. It had some structure, which I liked. Continue with Lion Brand, this time with the Basic Stitch. This gorgeous mustard yarn is 3.5 ounces, and it comes in 185 yards. It is super soft, had lovely drape, and I liked it just a smidge better than working with the other Lion Brand Skein Tones. Still a beautiful yarn, but this one's a little bit more fun to work with. A little bit softer, and it felt really nice in my hands. It has a little bit of a sheen to it. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm just not a sheen kind of gal. So that was kind of interesting. But the stitch definition, absolutely beautiful. Really, really liked that very, very much. I also started playing with my other mustard yarn, which was the Easygoing Yarn Bee. This is beautiful. This is honestly one of my favorite yarns. The softness is just, I can't even explain how much fun it is to use this yarn. The drawback is that it only comes in 9 colors. So after I did both swatches, I played around a little bit with them and compared side by side, both super soft. The one thing edging the Yarn Bee Easygoing over the Lion Brand is that it doesn't have as much of a sheen. Again, I like a little bit more of a muted, softer color, not a lot of shininess. So the matte texture to the Yarn Bee, that was more of my favorite one. Next was Stylecraft Special Aran Weight. Nothing fancy, a little bit coarser than some of the other yarns, but still nice to work with, but not as soft as some of the other ones I had. Then I worked with the Soft and Sleek by Yarn Bee. This one, very soft, very nice to work with. It has a more of a heft to it. It feels more supple, I guess, if that makes any sense. This one was a bit more fun to work with than the Stylecraft Special. Again, nothing against the Stylecraft one, but just as terms of experience of using the yarn, I really like the Soft and Sleek. This one's made from the low pill acrylic as well. So it made a very nice swatch, and again, the heft to it was really nice. It kind of reminds me of the weight of the older Afghans from like the 70s without the scratchiness. So a lovely yarn, very soft. I enjoy this one a lot.
Okay, so now I'm going to try the Estaco anti-pilling. This one, DK weight, 100% anti-pilling acrylic, 100 grams, so 3.5 ounces, and weight 3, so DK weight, and it says to use a 4mm hook, so I'm going to grab that. And the color says 80047. I should call it something cool. I call this like alligator or wasabi. That's what I'd call it. I think one of my ideal jobs, I have a lot of ideal jobs in my brain sometimes, but one of my ideal jobs, I would like to be a book editor, and I would like to be a professional crocheter, but also I would love to be the person who names colors, like those color swatches you get at paint places, colors for yarns, right? I mean, when you have a beautiful yarn and you have like brand new, a clean palette in front of you, and you can call it anything you want, and you're given a number, I'm going to look online and see if it gave it an actual name. I'll do that later when I put down, like, when I analyze how much each skein costs, price per skein. But a number, if I do look it up and the name is just like green, that's going to be very sad. I'm not going to count against it in my yarn review, but just saying. Ooh, okay, so hold on. Let's give this a second. So what I'm noticing right away, and again, I just went from, Aran weight's like 4 weight to this DK weight of a 3, but like it's a lot splittier, yeah, it's like how many plies is this? I don't know. Like, I don't know if you can, so as I'm zoom in here. So as I'm doing, I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's like, it feels like the yarn, the stranded yarn is about 6 to 8 strands of embroidery floss. Like, it's just like separate. Yeah, it's like separating. Like, I don't know, can you see this? I don't know, you probably can't see it. Take my word for it. So it feels like as I'm crocheting with it, it's like really flattening out on the hook, so it makes it it's also kind of slippery, but magic circle is kind of like the trickiest part sometimes when you're getting started. And I did just switch from like a 5.5 hook to this 4, so it's a little bit of an adjustment, right? So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. And every yarn is different. It's very soft. I mean, I like that. It's working up okay. It's kind of curling. Uh-oh, Estaco, you might be a mistake-o.
So now I'm working on some of the blue and teal yarns. These all were pretty much at the middle of the category yarns. Kind of felt about the same, right? Like I was working with the big twist value, the loops and threads, impeccable. I've never really liked the impeccable, I'm sorry to say. And it's funny, after it came out of the wash, the impeccable was actually one of the stiffer, kind of itchier, not itchier, but well, yeah, kind of itchy yarn. The big twist value was nice and soft, but it lost a little bit of its definition. The anti-pilling by Premier, of the blue yarns, this was my favorite. Oh gosh, it is so soft. It's definitely in my top 5 of the yarns that I worked with. Glides on the crochet hook, and the color is gorgeous. Works up like a dream. Stitch definition, gorgeous as well. So of the blues, I love the Heartland. It was very soft, very drapey. But after the wash, there were some issues. Nothing terrible, but enough to be noticeable. And the Yarn Bee Yarntopia, let's just say it felt like a stocko all over again. Kind of splitty. Unfortunately too, because it was so soft. Great, beautiful yarn, but not a pleasure to work with. What I'm going to do is cut each square with a stitch marker and jot down what color, what each one is on which sample. If you notice, I have a lot of blues and teals, several greens, lots of greens. The greens are a little bit different, but there's enough of them to be right there. Got several greens going on. And I have some mustards that are also similar. I guess I had my brilliant idea. I thought, oh, I can compare, like, you know, what a different mustard would look like versus another color, which is lovely. But then when I throw them in the wash, I don't remember which one's which. So, let's get organizing and keeping some notes. All right, so here they are, 16 granny squares using 16 different yarns. They all are acrylic blends, and I used a Starburst granny square pattern, so that's consistent. And I'm going to be looking at different criteria. I'm going to evaluate these yarns based on the cost, the colors that are available, the overall crocheting experience, and I'll be looking at the stitch definition and the softness, because I've actually washed these, they've gone through the laundry, and I want to see how they look after at least one washing. So as I'm testing these swatches, some I tried to close my eyes, some I had to put on my cheeks, had to feel and like blind test it. Honestly, most were pretty soft. The wash helped some of them soften up a little bit, but a couple, for example, the loops and threads impeccable, actually felt a little scratchier, which I was surprised by. But some of these beauties, oh, so soft. Okay, so now I'm going to be looking at stitch definition to see how they look after a washing. So overall, most of the yarn swatches retained their softness, except for the impeccable. That felt a little scratchier, which that was kind of odd. I love this yarn, and the woolies kind of took on a sugar smacks kind of texture, which I noticed when I was crocheting, but was more evident after washing it. The Estacco and the Yarntopia, those splitty yarns showed up even worse after the wash. Nothing terrible, but only one little wash, and I could see some problems. The Premier anti-pilling yarns were outstanding. Wash like a dream, still super soft. The Big Twist, very soft, but lost so much definition. The Heartland still was soft, but got a little bit of a halo to it. So, are you ready for the results? I made a spreadsheet and everything. I put all the yarns, the content of the fibers, and the price points, and all the different things, and then made a formula and ranked them, and here we go. First, we're looking at the value of each yarn. Now we're looking at mere decimals here, but Premier Basics came in first. I love this yarn at number 2, Big Twist number 3, and then in 4th place was Style Craft Special DK. When it came to variety, I love this yarn came in first, with over 150 colors and variations of this yarn. The Special DK came in 2 with 111, Premier Basics had 93, and then the Impeccable by Loops and Threads had 75. It was interesting because sometimes the variety of colors were what moved some yarns from the top to the bottom. For example, the Yarn Bee Easygoing only had 9 colors available. That right away put that down the list. Alright, so when it comes down to softness, this was really interesting. The first 2 yarns, the Yarn Bee Yarntopia and the Estacco Anti-Pilling, crazy soft, like so soft. But because of the experience and the splittiness of the yarns and the slidiness of the yarn on the hook, the experience, it made it not so great, and it made me want to put these babies down at the bottom of the list. But they can't be beat for softness. But with this list that I'm making, softness isn't the only thing that matters. However, for number 3 and 4, both Premier yarns, the Anti-Pilling Select and the Anti-Pilling Everyday Worsted, oh, They came out beautifully. They were soft as I worked them up, and they were soft when they came out of the wash. Okay, mirror, mirror on the wall, which of these yarns is the prettiest of them all? I looked at the overall aesthetics of the swatches. I looked for any odd haloing or any weird clumping. I looked at stitch definition and the sheen and the luster and all the factors that apply to the aesthetics of the pieces. Number one by far was the Anti-Pilling Select by Premier. Gorgeous definition, so soft. Each little bit of this I loved. Next was the Anti-Pilling, also by Premier, the Everyday Worsted, and great definition, super soft. I know I already talked about softness, but the way the stitches looked and the way they held after the wash, amazing. Then the Easygoing by Yarn Bee. Gorgeous yarn. It just holds together. The stitch definition, all the things were just outstanding. And finally, number 4 was Lion Brand Basic Stitch. Superb yarn, loved it. And of course, the whole experience using the yarn, because let's face it, after you purchase the yarn, you make that investment, you're going to be spending some serious quality time with some of these fibers. So Premier brands did not disappoint. Number 1 was the Anti-Pilling Select. Smooth as butter, super soft, fun to work with. I could have crocheted all day with that yarn. The Anti-Pilling Everyday was amazing as well. Had a little bit of a sheen to it, but that was the only drawback when it comes to this category. And finally, rounding up the list are Hobby Lobby's yarns, the Yarn Bee Easygoing and the Soft and Sleek. Super soft, fun to work with, again, great experience. Now that we've seen all of the individual categories, let's see how each yarn ended up in the ranks. We had a tie for number 13, the Lion Brand Woolies, as well as Lion Brand Heartland yarn. Coming in at number 12 was the Big Twist Value. Value was a big strong point for this yarn. Number 11 was Yarn Bee's Yarntopia. If it hadn't been for the slidiness, softness would have won it out. Number 10 is Anti-Pilling DK. Estacco, you split on me. Number 9 is the Impeccable. Good variety, but not so soft. Then we have Skein Tones by Lion Brand. Lovely to work with. Number 7 is a Special Aran by Stylecraft. It worked up quite nicely. Also Special DK by Stylecraft was the other tie for number 7. Now we're at number 6, the Basic Stitch by Lion Brand. Loved this yarn. Premier Basics also shared the number 6 spot. Its utility and its value were a shining star. Number 5, the Easygoing. Too bad it didn't have more variety of colors. Number 4, Soft and Sleek. Solid yarn, kind of a workhorse. Love this yarn. Number 3, I love this yarn by Hobby Lobby. Definitely a value and good variety. Number 2, the Anti-Pilling Select. I cannot say enough about you. I love you so much. And number 1, the Anti-Pilling Everyday Worsted, also by Premier. She edged out her sister because of the variety and the value, but both were a dream to work with. I don't know about you, but I learned a lot. I was surprised at how so many of these yarns had similar content of fiber, but they behaved quite differently. And then some were so close, it was like almost a dead even tie for some of these. And also surprising to me were that some of the softest yarns were the hardest to work with, and I didn't enjoy the process, and the end result, while so soft, didn't have the best aesthetics to it. So it was very interesting, and some of the most budget-friendly yarn were the best performers. So I hope you learned something today as well, and if you liked what you saw, hit like and subscribe because many more videos are coming up soon. Thanks. Bye.